Yo, 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 we live on location. Me and the blackest one is at home right now, but we got a very, very special guest, man. This is some international flavor, one of the one of ones. He was in our era. He was a defensive nightmare. Nightmare out there. I still have nightmares about him. One of my toughest matchups, man.
Block shot
All-star, one of the best threes in the game, and one of the premier pioneers of the international players. St. Petersburg, Russia's finest, AK-47 in the building. Tap in, y'all.
Man, we appreciate you coming on the show, rocking with us. Remember a bunch of wars we had with you during our playing days, man. Always been a fan of yours, and we just appreciate you, bro, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me here. Always a pleasure since the beginning when the young boy from Russia joined the league and see two studs in the Clippers just throwing the ball to each other, dunking and doing the knuckleheads. It was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
When you first got to the league, who's the first person you feel like bust your ass?
Deshaun Stevenson was on the practice.
DST
was, DST, he was like explosive, great defensively. He was like standing on his feet. I was like, I couldn't beat him when we have the one-on-one drill. You dribble the ball, and he always in front of you. Like, oh my god, this is amazing speed. And like the explosiveness,
he could jump too.
Like, anytime he got the ball, oh my god, like it's like Vince Carter. You can't get the chance for him to land his foot closer to the rim. You have to like be there. Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be posterized. He's a poster right away.
D-Steve. Shout out to D-Steve.
Yeah, shout out D-Steve.
Yeah, and playing-wise, I think if we're talking about like big players who was like face of the league that time, in the beginning of my career, Allen Houston, Vince Carter, then like going a little bit to the middle, Kobe Bryant was the face of the league, and he was the avatar of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I like that, the avatar of Michael Jordan.
I think he's the closest one who got like Mike. It's like so many similarities, so many like way they played, so many accolades, the way they moved.
Yeah.
Tracy McGrady as well. He was like amazing when he played with the Houston. Just because we played so many games against Rockets in the playoffs, and they've been in our division, so we played a lot of games. Kobe and T-Mac. So you always see them, and you always hate to play against them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Ishevek?
The Russian city where I was born. Izhevsk.
Izhev, Russia.
Izhevsk. Yeah, but that's the only place I was born, but I grew up in St. Petersburg.
Okay, so how old were you when you moved to St. Petersburg?
I always lived in St. Petersburg, and because my grandma was living in Izhevsk, my mom went to deliver me and basically comes back. So
I just came back to St. Petersburg.
I know a little bit about my home city, but my whole life I grew up in St. Petersburg. That's where I started my basketball career, and my parents still live there. Not the Tampa, not Tampa.
Yeah,
Spartak,
Russia.
Spartak.
Did you play hockey or any other sport before you decided to play basketball, or it was always basketball was what you was doing?
My family was very like sport active, and my dad he was a soccer coach. Okay. And my mom played basketball a little bit. So since the first grade, it was like a little fight in the family. My dad was like pushing me, go play soccer. And my mom like, you know what? You can try basketball. And soft force wins.
Who did you see coming up that made you want to kind of pursue basketball a little bit more?
Yeah, back in the days, we didn't have much broadcasting with the basketball. The only thing we see is like once a week we have best NBA games on the TV, and like everybody was sitting like this. Oh my God, Michael Jordan! Oh my God, Patrick Ewing, Dennis Rodman.
Magic Johnson,
you look for those guys and you're dreaming about basketball, but you don't really realize it's right here. You can try it, like you can be there. It's always like a dream. It's another planet.
Right.
You don't really relay yourself in connection with the NBA. So at that time, Michael Jordan was number one, and we all grew up want to be like Mike.
Right, exactly. Were you always tall right away, or did you hit a growth spurt when you were younger, or like how did that work out for you?
I was probably the third in the class, size-wise. So in my first grade, my first coach came to the class and said, like, okay, those three guys, you're tall. I want to invite you to, try basketball. And I was the only one who tried it. I like it. I think the reason I liked it instead of soccer or hockey is because you always score. Like in football, sometimes you don't score. Like it's a 0-0 score. And like, something's wrong. And in the basketball, you're always scoring, and it's so much fun. You have like satisfaction, basically. Exactly. Every attack, something's going on. Yeah. And that's probably the main reason why I fell in love with basketball as a game.
What was your thoughts when the Russian Super League asked you at 16, being the youngest player ever, to play in this professional or this top league in Russia?
Yeah, 15.
15.
15. I was like about a week before 16 years old, so it was 15 technically. But at that time, like when you're 15 years old, the senior team asked me, okay, we want you to join the roster for this game. You're going to be participating, and you feel like, oh my God,
right?
Jesus Christ, I'm like a high schooler going to play against guys with like 30, 35 years old. Like, my mom was worried. She was like, oh my God, they're going to rip you apart. Yeah. But it was actually not a bad debut. I think I played like 5 or 6 minutes at the end of the game, like scored like 4 points. And it was a very tough ending. So it wasn't like up 20 and you're like, okay, young guy going. So it was like a very, very close ending of the game. And I was surprised because I thought like, I'm not going to go in. It's a close game. And coach like, okay, Andrei, go. I'm like, oh my God, I have to go.
Just threw you in the fire. So did they slowly like develop you, like playing in that league that kind of helped your game trying to elevate a little bit more?
I would say opposite. I've been like thrown in, like, okay, go in.
Right, get right in the fire.
You just learn game by game, playing tough situations, tough opponents, and you just have to adapt. I feel like I didn't have enough weight. I didn't have enough technique during the game, but you just overcome it.
How was it for you being that you were so young? And like you said, there's people that's 30 years old and stuff like that, and you being just a young teenager. How was the difference in age for you being on that team?
You can feel it. You're playing against like older men who's like, you can't play post up, like, because they just like get you out of it.
Right.
So you have to find your own basically angle or your own like skill. So I think at that time I learned the major thing that I went through my career. You have to run. And you have to run fast.
Well, one thing we know you do is run.
We know you did that. Ran fast and damn hard.
So in the fourth quarter, people like, oh my God, AK, just stop. You're like, I'll keep running.
Yeah.
So how old were you when y'all won the Super League championship?
I think I was like 17 or 18 years old. But I moved from St. Petersburg to Moscow, and I started playing for the major team. So that team who won like 25 times. So I become a contender.
Okay. CSKA, right?
Exactly, yes. Okay. It's a major team in Russia. Probably the record breaker and record holder for many years. And I joined the club from 17 for 3 years.
You got drafted when you was 18, but you stayed 2 more years in Moscow, right?
Yes. And the reason for this, because when I signed a deal with the Moscow club, it was like a 3-year deal. Mm-hmm. And I was drafted basically in my first year there. So I had to stay like 2 more years just because I had a contract.
Would it have been a big buyout?
I don't think at that time it was like a buyout. Like nobody really think about buyouts.
Oh, okay.
But the part of my deal, it was an apartment, which is my parents basically received as a part of the package in St. Petersburg. So if I break my contract, they will lose the apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I would think like, maybe if I come like 2 years before, I can compensate for this apartment. But back there, like you never thought about like living in an apartment. Like you're getting paid for the job you do. You're young. You're playing in the best team in Russia, so it's kind of a win-win situation.
Yeah.
What was the process of even putting your name in a draft? Like, even though you're already on a contract in Moscow.
Back in the day, we didn't really know what's the procedure, like how you get to the NBA, like who you contact. You know, I like back in the day, I received like a package from Clemson Tigers.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know who to contact. Like, I have no idea. Like, I received the package. Oh my God, it's nice. Eldon Campbell on a page. It's so nice, but I don't speak English. I don't know who to call. I'm like, okay, nice invitation. Thank you. But you don't know what to do with it.
Okay, Clemson was trying though. Clemson was on to something. They knew
something.
Okay. Shout out Clemson and whoever was coaching them then.
Yeah. So back in the day, I didn't know what's the procedure. But when I was like 17 years old, Mark Fleischer, who was my agent for all of my career, he found me in Moscow. He was like I introduced him to my dad. So we had like a little dinner trying to communicate. And he started to represent me because I didn't know anything like what agent is anyway. Right. So he was the first person who basically said like, okay, here's the procedure. Like we start partnership together. I will put your name as a fax to the NBA office, to the draft. And then there is a chance you're going to be drafted. Because when I was young, like 15 to 17 years old, we played a lot of junior world competitions. Like so I was at the stage where scouts know who you are. Yeah. But at the same time, because it's not like right now, you have a social network, you have like a huge access to the players. You basically didn't know anything. So he was the person who put my name in the draft. And when it happened, he called me like at 5 o'clock in the morning and said like, oh, AK, congratulations. You've been picked by Utah. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, my God. The Utah Jazz just played like a couple of years ago in the finals against the Bulls.
Against the
Bulls. Like, oh, it's Mailman, John Stockton. Like,
so you familiar with them already? By seeing them play against the Bulls.
Dream team, you know everybody by name. Jerry Sloan, legendary coach. It's amazing.
So you weren't even aware when you got drafted. You didn't see it. You didn't none of that. You just got the phone call from your representation saying like 5 a.m, like congratulations.
Yeah, and you didn't know anything about it. Like
that is wild.
When is the procedure? When is the draft? I got a call, and next morning, the whole team, I was with the junior team, the whole team was like, what's up, mailman? I was like, I've become a mailman.
Let me ask you this. The summer of 98, I played with the USA team, and we played in Moscow for the Olympics. I think it was like
I don't remember you. Oh, my God, really?
Yeah, we played in Moscow. We stayed at.
I don't remember.
Was you on that team? Was you on? Yeah, I played with KC.
In the final. God damn.
Yeah, we beat y'all in the finals in the championship.
Yes, in the overtime. I remember Casey Jacobson. That's the only guy.
Yeah. Well, I was on that team. It was me, Travis Watson,
Casey Jacobson.
Casey Jacobson. I have the picture here somewhere at my house, but
oh my God!
Yeah, I made that.
You are local in Russia right now.
Yeah. My mom didn't want me to go all the way to Russia. My grandmama was like, "That's a once in a lifetime chance." And then we went to Russia, and we went to Moscow.
How was it?
I loved it. We stayed at the village that they built for us there. That
We
was
stayed in the
dope.
village too.
Yeah, we ate McDonald's for 2 weeks, but because we didn't know about all the rest of the food. We went to the flea market, and I brought my pops back one of them fur hats, them Russian fur hats, and all that stuff. So I was wondering, was you on that team? Because I remember playing y'all in the championship, and we won the gold medal for that.
That's crazy.
we played you guys in the final. It was
In the
I
final.
remember it was overtime game. We lost like 6 or 8 points in
Yeah.
overtime.
Yeah. I wanted to see that. That's crazy. So that was the first time me seeing you then. Cause y'all was tough in that. That was the first time.
I don't remember. Oh my God.
We were blowing everybody out like by 30, 40 points. And then we played in the championship and it was on.
Close game, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: you say you got the call that you got drafted about a Jazz 5 a.m. When did he tell you, like, all right, you gotta report to Utah and you gotta go meet the team and do all of that? How did all of that go for you?
Well, as I said, I had the agent. He was like doing the whole communication with the Jazz, and he was kind of keep me posted like what's going on. But because I had a contract, there's not much you can do. Obviously you link to the Moscow, and by that time I was playing well, so team was like trying to fighting to keep me with the team. And when my contract was over, so as soon as possible, I was like packed, ready to go.
When you left, did you know any English, or when you got to United States, that's when you start trying to kind of learning English?
Yeah, I didn't speak English at all. Everything I learned, I think I learned my first couple of years, and majority of English I learned in the locker room. As crazy as it sounds.
Who was the first person you met?
I think a couple of ball boys was like
right.
But from the players, I think Doniel Marshall and Brian Russell.
Okay.
There was like a core part of the team.
Yeah.
But then everybody like Greg Ostertag, Malone, John Stockton. I mean, all of those guys you just see them in the finals. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And here you are. You see them at the practice site.
Was that overwhelming at all? Like, cause you being an 18-year-old, you coming in with the mailman and John Stockton, two of the like super legends, the Iron Men of the league, known for doing and playing for Sloan. Like you came in.
Deshaun Stevenson was on that team, right? Deshaun Stevenson was on that team.
Deshaun Stevenson, I think he was my year.
Yeah, he was a young guy.
The year I came in.
Yeah, he's a young guy. He was my age, so that was another young guy that you had to be there.
Yeah, but it was surreal. When you step on the court, just at the practice, and you see all those guys, it's just like I had the feeling that something is wrong. Like it's a different reality. I'm delusional right now. Like something is going on. Yeah. But when you start playing basketball, it's all the same.
Yeah.
But first 10, 15 minutes, you're like, something is wrong. Something is like, it's the same feeling when first time you step on the floor with Michael Jordan. Yeah. I had the chance to play against him when he was
Wizards.
Wizards. Yeah. And it's the same feeling. Like, here you are, Mike, I'm playing Michael Jordan. Oh my God, I have to touch him. Like, that's what's in your mind.
Yeah.
First 10 minutes, you're like, and then you're like, real? Okay, I got a mark in my biography. My memoirs is full now. I'm ready.
As a basketball number, were you 47 in the early days? Like, when did AK-47 come about? Because that was one of the hard. I remember when I first saw, I think you had like the Porsche 911 or something, and we came to the Delta Center, and we saw the car like, oh, AK-47 is dope. Like, when did that come about for you?
Here's the story. Now, like when I first came to Utah, and we played like a summer league. Mm-hmm. And the first summer league, I played with number 13 because it was my mom who played 13. And like majority of my career, I was picking this number just because my mom was playing with it. I played the whole summer league. And then when we start getting into the, before the preseason camp, We got picked up. We picked up John Amici. He was a
John
veteran
Amici,
a veteran in the league. And you know their priority. Like when you have a veteran joining the team, they got a priority.
Yeah.
So he picked the number 13. I'm like, like I always play
Right.
13, and I was like which number I supposed to pick? And at that time, we had a Quincy Lewis, and he actually with the Utah right
Q
now. He's the
Lewis
head
from
of the
Minnesota. From Minnesota. I remember Q.
he's the head of the alumni program in Utah right now.
Yeah.
So he because he was young and I'm young, we're kind of hanging out, and he said like, AK, Andrei Kirilenko, AK, that's your initials, and AK-47, that's like a very famous Russian product. You have to pick 47. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, what else I supposed to pick? Like, I have no idea.
Right.
So I picked 47, and since then it's become like a brand.
Yeah.
Like
Shout out Q. Quincy Lewis. Shout out Q Lewis for the assist.
When we first seen it, I thought that was one of the best nicknames in NBA history to have. And then your jersey numbers. Then to see it like, like how you see PG-13 and different colors. It just fits your name so well, man.
Together.
Like it just goes with it. So how big of the brand did it get? Because I know when you went back home or just everybody in the United States, I always just say AK-47.
It's the same way here. Like, everybody is like, I'm saying AK-47. And the another fact, as I said, I was born in a little city called Izhevsk.
Yes.
Even though I'm from St. Petersburg and I grew up in St. Petersburg, the inventor of the AK-47, that's his city. That's where he was like doing AK-47s and producing it. It's like a little fact. I'm like, oh my God, it's all linked in.
Yeah. Oh, that's part of the story then.
That's crazy.
that's definitely part of the story.
I didn't plan it.
Right. No, it was already written in stone. When he made the first AK-47, there was going to be a kid named AK coming up out of there. So
that's crazy.
It was already written in stone. So tell us about just Utah. Utah is one of the most beautiful places in the United States. It's a different city. The fan base is one of the best fan bases in the NBA when it comes to the Utah Jazz and how they come and support. Just tell us about you getting to Utah, seeing how beautiful it is. It's definitely real beautiful during the summertime and stuff like that. Winter be cold down there. We know that.
Well, not as cold as Minnesota or New York.
Right. Definitely not. But just tell us about the city of Utah and the fan base once you kind of got down there.
Yeah, as you said, the fan base is amazing, and they crazy about the team. They always hostile for their opponents. They always very supportive for the home team. And what I like is everybody is very positive, which is very strange for me because I came from the environment when you lose the game, there's a lot of critics. When you win the game, there's a lot of like praise. Right. And in Utah, when you lose the game, but you work hard, you fight hard, they're like, don't worry, there is another game coming. We're on your side. And they're very supportive. They appreciate when you fight, when you grind, when you give it all. And that's always been Utah style, like always scrappy, always grinding. It's always tough to play against Jazz. I think that's become like a motto for the team.
Yeah.
But the stereotype, like when I came to Utah, again, I didn't know much. Everybody was saying like, oh, it's a Mormon city, like whatever it is, like you don't know. You kind of expect, because there is not much about like Mormon religion, you expect like man and like 7 wives.
Right.
But in the reality, you see like man, wife, and like 7, 8, 10 kids.
Yeah.
It's a very family-oriented city. A lot of places for the family, for the kids. And, I have 4 kids. For myself, it was like very, very nice environment when you can be safe, when you think, like you can let your kids play outside. You can always go somewhere like in a shopping mall and like an entertainment center. You can let the kids play because there's a lot of things to do.
How was it playing for Coach Jerry Sloan? Like everybody knows he's one of the the grinders. He was known for his toughness. From Chicago, played for the Bulls, but he was known for his disposition. And then you being a young guy, was there ever any times, like especially early on when you first got there, where we know he did it at some point where Coach Sloan is in practice yelling at you and you just straight up acted like you ain't know English for a second? Like, I don't know what you're saying. Did you ever find yourself trying to do that when he was getting on you or anything like that?
Every day for the first 3 months. Like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want to hear it. No, but he was a hard coach. Like everything Jazz do at that point was a system. You have to be a part of the system. You have to be that will cog. How you say it? Like cog.
Yeah.
Like the piece of the mechanism.
Uh-huh.
We run those drills until you fell down. You know exactly what you're supposed to do. The certain point. When you play the game, I knew every minute when the substitution is coming.
Already.
And for me, it was so crazy because I was like, man, it's like we're playing different teams, different leaders, different scenario of the game. Like, how come we have a substitution this particular
same
minute?
time every
it's
game.
Like you have to change it. You have to fix your system on, for the different opponents. My way or highway.
I hated playing against any Utah team. It didn't matter who was playing. I definitely hated when you was playing for him, but it didn't matter. Like when he introduces in practice that the wings have to run as hard as y'all have to run and cross under the basket and be clapping fire while y'all how was that for you? Had you ever done anything like that before or seen that done before? How was that when he introduced that to y'all? Because I hated that as an opponent. Because that made me have to run all the way hard and cross under and get to the other corner too. So how was that for you?
Now, believe me, we all hate it. We all hate it, but good or bad, it was a thing that gives us a lot of easy points. Yeah. Just because we create so much tension for the defense, you have to run back. Then you have to keep an eye on two forwards who's crossing. Yeah. So you're losing the point guard who's basically have opportunity to beat his man. Yeah. If you lose your attention, you always have a forward standing right under the rim for the layup. So it made sense. But believe me, practicing this, oh my God, so many practices when you hear run through. My wife during the night, okay, you have to stop. You screaming at night, run through. I don't want to hear it. It was right and beat it into my brain. Run through.
When did you feel that when you was in a league that you got a feel that be like, I can play here. I can play in the NBA?
After first 5-6 games.
Okay.
Even when I started and played summer league and I played well in the summer league, I think I was in the best 5. I don't know, it was a little award they presented. Yeah. Then preseason camp and you feel you fit okay, but I still had doubts. I'm a young kid who's 21 years old, just starting his career at the highest possible level in the world. Again, as I said, it was surreal that you're in NBA. It's like a different planet. You feel there's a God's playing here, and you're a youngster coming from Russia, from the kids' basketball, basically. But after 5-6 games, I think I found the right fit, and thanks to Jerry Sloan, because he was kind of putting me in the beginning in the right position. Some games he would give me 20, 25 minutes in a good time, but not in a starting 5, maybe as a second unit when you play against second unit, so you kind of adjust a little bit more. And then time to time he was putting me on Glenn Robinson, Ray Allen, Jamal Mashburn, Allen Houston. So time to time, so I get a feeling for 3-4 minutes. Okay, that's the level.
The real shit.
Then you're playing against second unit. You kind of fits good. And
Yeah.
I think game to game, you kind of adjust. You got more sure that you're right feet. Then you like got more confident. And time to time, you basically develop.
To have veterans like, Hall of Famers like John Stockton and Karl Malone, how easy was you to play with them veteran players, and what did you learn from them kind of moving forward in your career?
They are amazing players, and I always like when I have interviews and they asking like people asking me to describe them. They very opposite in what my perception as a leader is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Karl Malone, vocal, loud leader who always been on every inch of the floor, telling like you have to do this. Okay, don't give him a hand. Don't like let him lay down on the floor.
Yeah.
He's not with us. Okay, we have to do this. We have to do that. And John Stockton, way opposite. Always quiet, always leading by example. I think at the age of 40, he was leading in all drills that we do in the practice.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the guy who's like coming, doing his job as best as he can, leading by example. But at the same time, he was like quiet, not talk much. Okay, guys, let's look at me. Look at me. What are we gonna do?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like you learn from the best. You want to be this way as a leader, or you want to be this way as a leader. So you can pick your choice.
Tell me this, when you're talking about them two, and you were a second unit guy, when was the first time that you got caught by a John Stockton screen and a Karl Malone screen separately? Because like both of them, like as impossible as it seemed, John Stockton screens hurt as bad as Karl Malone screens do. He was strong as hell and set crazy hard screens. So when did you get hit with those screens and they let you know?
First practices, you got it right away. You're like, like, I got you guys. Right now, you know how to play against the screen. Go lower. Don't try to beat it.
When you first heard, after being in the league 3 years, you first heard that you're an NBA All-Star. What was that feeling like to hear that you're about to be a part of the All-Star team?
I think it's the same kind of feeling of something is wrong, like something is like something is changed around you, like the same time when I step into that practice facility and know that you're in NBA, you get this feeling like something is wrong, something is going on. Same way when I was named an All-Star, even though since the beginning of the season I knew I played well. I played tremendous. I've been named like a couple of times Player of the Week. I had like great games, like filling stats. We played not as bad as people thought, and I had that feeling that you can be there because like you can really tell like you have a stats, you have like your team is playing okay, so you're in those best like 25 players in the league. But at the same time, again, it's my third year. You just you're still a young kid. You still like you adjust into this like volume volume tempo of your career. And of course, when I remember like right now, I was playing. I think we were playing San Antonio, and right before the game, I was sitting after the warm up shooting, sitting on the bench. And somebody, I think like one of the ball boys or our physical trainer, he just came in and he's like, "Oh, okay, congratulations! You've been picked as an All-Star." And since then, I couldn't play. Like I think it was my worst game that I remember. I was like, "Oh my God! Like I'm an All-Star. Like I have to do something like something outrageous right now." And like coach, like, "Okay, congratulations, but just cool down. Like you don't have to show anything. Like just keep playing like you played." But it was so overwhelming.
Obviously, all of that culminated like after, Stockton retiring and Malone retiring. How was that for you when you watched those two kind of icons of not just the game, but for sure for that franchise and what they meant to that city? Did you kind of know that like, okay, like it's pretty much my time now that they getting up out of here, and it's kind of like it's a lot of opportunity being opened up right now. And was that like what you was building up to and waiting for and getting ready and prepared for?
No. Nah, my feeling that time was like it's gonna be a tough season because we just lost the two guys who was like face of the franchise, and I didn't really think that it's my time. I have to like pick up the team. I think you still feel like you're a young kid, like I have to be. You have to like put a little bit more into the plate, but I don't think I had the feeling that it's my team. I'm the big man right now. But probably I never been in this kind of set of mind. I always been like more like a friendly team player. I wanted, like you wanted to be around rather than give me the ball and get out of the way. I never been this kind of player. So I didn't really think that it's my time because they left. I think I realized, there's more opportunities to be, like around the ball a little bit more, but it's more responsibility for sure. Because right now we don't have two guys who can, be responsible for everything we do. You becoming that man that people kind of look at. But at the same time, I was like 23, 24 years old, and you're like, you're still young.
Right.
I think right now, because of all of the social media, because it's a bigger environment, kids who's coming to NBA, they grew up a little bit younger. They mature a little bit younger. Back in the days, I don't even remember youngsters who comes like at 21, 22 years old, instantly become the best players in the league. It was like kind of league of older people,
you gotta put your work in.
Grown man.
Yeah. When did you fall in love with defense and consider yourself a defensive stopper?
I think I always been, and I wouldn't limit it myself to the defense only, just because when I start playing basketball, I kind of equally tried to play defense and then give your best in offense. And I think when I joined the NBA, and I think this is the best thing I learned about NBA and actually American basketball. It's very, and actually it's not only basketball, it's very typical for the different occupation or different discipline as well. In US, like when you do something, you become a professional, very good in this particular, let's say, discipline or, I don't know, like direction. If you're a shooter, you're a shooter. If you are like a ball handler, you're a great ball handler.
Right.
And you kind of specialize on this.
Yeah,
if you are,
focused.
I don't know, computer programmist, you're so good at it. In Russia, people get used, know a lot of things, but not so good at this particular thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know everything, but really nothing in this category. In US, you are very good in a certain category, but when it comes to something else, you're like, you know what? I have no idea what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's mentality and culture. And when we learn as a kids, we really concentrate on fundamentals. We concentrate on the team game. We concentrate offense and defense, both equally important. And I think I kind of grew up with that feeling. And that's why probably I couldn't really become a first option for the Jazz, just because I never really get used to be a first option. I always get used to be that, like that important part of the team.
Yeah.
But not really a guy who's like, as I said, like, give me the ball, I will do everything right now.
Yeah.
So you think when you became kind of like, when it came, like you became the de facto leader, even though you weren't really trying to be, do you think you kind of, from outside looking in, I feel like you kind of took John Stockton's approach, is like, look at me, I'm going to be the example, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, and you can look at me as the example of what, the right way to go about it?
I would say yes, and I think the second part of it is he was always language barrier at some point, just because, I mean, you speak English, but you don't really speak English at the level that you can organize everybody and say like, okay, this is the bullshit. We're going to do this. So, you know what I'm saying? And in the heat of the game, you have to be very fast in those kind of, situations. And it was easy for me to do it with a national team when you can like really, like talk to the guys and kind of get them together. And with the Jazz, it was way harder for me just because it's not my native language. And again, as I said, it's a little bit different mentality or cultural thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling, at least.
Did you know that season you led the league in blocks and you only played 41 games? Did you take
really?
pride in blocking shots and
I think
I
I got like award at the end of the season.
That's crazy.
I didn't know I played 41 games. Really?
You hurt your wrist and you only played half of the games and you led the league still in blocks.
That's wild.
Well, what I can say, I always loved blocks. I always loved to come from the weak side when nobody see you and send it not to the stands. Send it to your man so you can start the fast break. Don't send it out, even though it looks good.
Well, I just want to look. I gotta tell you, I used to hate fucking having to match up against you. I'll tell everybody whoever asks. You and Tayshaun Prince was the two dudes I had my hardest time scoring on. D Miles was easy work.
I used to lock that shit up too.
With the length, with the, you know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing, I try to play strong and y'all were more slim, but y'all made up for all of that. Y'all both had the same intangibles as far as like, even if somebody did a move or got past you, y'all had so much length and y'all were quick enough that you could still recover from whatever happened with your length and your quickness. So it was like, I used to, whenever I had a good game, if I had a good game against one of y'all motherfuckers, I was hyped. I was like, I was balling tonight. I was hooping tonight. You ain't see, like, that was Tayshaun, that was AK on me. Like, if I got busy on y'all, I felt damn good for the next week because y'all motherfuckers was hell for me. I always felt that way. Y'all two was two matchups that I used to have a hard ass time figuring out.
Yeah, shout out to Tayshaun because I felt the same way. Like when first time I saw him playing, he looked like nothing special. But then when you start playing, oh my God! Like
exactly.
It's like he's always there. He got a long arms. He always like defensively. Then he starts leading the fast break. You're like, something like you underestimate this guy.
Yeah, yep. Take him for granted. Think it's not like this, and then he beat and bust your ass.
Tell us about the transition when we went on lockout. The NBA went on the lockout, and you decided to go back to Moscow and play for your former team.
Damn right.
Tell us what's up with that decision, what made you make that decision, and you decided to stay instead of going back to the NBA that year.
When it was, I think it was the end of the season 10-11, my contract was over with the Utah. Mm-hmm. And I think it's become the major part of my decision. Just because my contract is over and I'm not under the contract, I'm not obliged to, wait until the lockout resolve. Mm-hmm. So I decided, I have nothing to lose. I'm signing with the Moscow team. When the lockout is over, I put the clause in my contract that anytime the NBA start the season, I can come back. And we start the season with the Moscow team, and our chemistry went so well. When you caught the feeling in the locker room when you were like invisible, invincible, you feel like everything is falling your way. You love your teammates. When you play and you enjoy the game, your coach is like so friendly, so diplomatic, so like open. Creative, gives you a chance to play your game. You are cherished. You're like, everything you love this.
Good.
Everything was good. And in the middle of the season, I think it was like December time, lockout was over. And I came and spoke with the president of the team. Like, he said, like, well, Andrei, I understand that you can go back to NBA, your contract is over, but of course we love you to stay. And I was thinking like, I don't have a contract. I have to like in the middle of the season, I have to like start either looking for the teams, either start trying to get back to the Utah. And at that time, I think Gordon Hayward joined the team, so he kind of started like developing. I don't want to disrupt the process, like he was already in the team. So I was like, well, there's nothing to lose for me to just finish the season and then like come back to the NBA. I had 10 years of experience with the Jazz. I had a great time, and I wanted to kind of see it through. I wanted to see this team, how it's going to play until the end of the season. And I decided, we spoke with the president, we extend the contract until the end of the season and finish the season, which was an amazing experience, even though we lost in the final of the EuroLeague by the last shot with a buzzer. Buzzer beater, we lost 1 point, and we're like, oh my God. But it was a great experience.
Yeah, you got MVP, you got EuroLeague first team, and best defender. So you got everything except the chip. Y'all lost by 1 in the chip. That was the only part.
I think I have a feeling that game I supposed to be more vocal.
Yeah,
I supposed to be more like Karl Malone at that game. Because you're right, like in the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, we've been up like 19 points, and everything was, like feeling good. Like you feeling like a game, we got it. And at that time, I think coach wanted to put like starting 5 and the guys who's like basically have like 7-8 guys who play in majority of the game on the bench and kind of let the youngsters to play a little bit. And I think we kind of lost that moment when you're losing momentum.
Yeah.
And other team score a couple of 3-point shots, starts get going, and you're losing it. And instead of us as a leader, you have to like come to the coach and like, okay, coach, you know what? Let's get the guys back on the floor. I think we kind of wait until everything gonna resolve, and we find ourselves in a position that 3 minutes to go and it's a tie game. You're like
too close.
Yeah, you got too close, and you give them a chance, and they got a feeling that they can win. So I think at that time we lose that key for the game. And I always said, like, game of basketball, it's a game of the momentum. You got the momentum, you're riding it. As soon as you like lose it, oh my God, you have to do everything to stop that. You have to stop bleeding. You have to take the timeouts. You have to like, I don't know, like take technical fouls. You have to like, I don't know, like grab somebody, start like, I don't know, like arguments. You have to do something to stop that momentum from other team, like to catch it.
After that season, you win MVP, you best defender, all that. You decide to go back to United States and play for Minnesota.
T-Wolves.
Why was Minnesota the team for you to choose? And did you have other options?
Minnesota was probably the most active at that time. Because right after the season with the Moscow club, we had the Olympics, and we also played well at the Olympics. We got the bronze medal, and I was also named like in the starting 5 of the like top 5 of the tournament. And in that time, I was pursued very hard by Minnesota. David Kahn was the general manager of the team. He was trying to create a young core with Kevin Love, being the centerpiece of the organization. And he was like, Andrei, we need the experience. We need the experience, especially international experience. We had some of the guys who's from the Europe. We got Pekovic. They signed another Russian guy, Alexei Shved.
Pekovic was like this. That was a strong dude,
he was,
right?
Oh my God!
Hey,
Serbian Wolf.
He looked like one of the dudes off Triple X or one of the international movies,
MMA,
like the Goon
MMA.
Squad. Yeah, like an MMA fighter, boy. He big as hell.
He was nice.
So David Kahn was very active in pursuing me, and at some point, I was thinking to coming back to Utah, or I need to like change something. And at that time, Utah wasn't that active because they already have a core, which is what was young, and like they start growing up. And as I said, like Gordon Hayward was like on the way to become an all-star, on the way becoming a franchise face of the franchise, and he was in my position. I was open to come to you, but at the same time, like I don't want to compromise that chemistry and that like that, how you say, the soil they're growing up. So I spoke with my family. We said like, okay, let's try something new. Let's try the new experience, a little bit more international experience in NBA, and also what I loved, Rick Edelman as a coach. He was probably the best coach in NBA that I had the experience with as a player who allows you to play what you wanted to play. He was like gives you a chance to be creative. He was giving you the chance to be open-minded, create something new on the floor.
Yeah, he let you off the leash.
Like I had a huge fun playing with him, and I think playing with another Russian kid in the team was helping too, because I was feeling like I can really share my experience. I can really help my close friend and teammate kind of enjoy America, learn something new, transition. And I feel bad that I don't have anybody when I was young to show me around.
That's what I was about to say. Is that the only time, like throughout your NBA journey, where you had an actual, a fellow countryman that you were able to have on your team and bond with like that?
It's not the only experience, because when I was in Brooklyn, I also have for like half a year Russian kid in my team, but it was only for the half year, and I wasn't playing that much then.
Right. Okay.
You couldn't say much when you're not playing.
I got you. Nah, I feel you.
You have to play if you wanted to say something.
Yeah. You got the chance to play with D. Will, and he got drafted to Utah, and just to see his growth to being one of the best point guards in the league at the time. Just tell us about your experience playing with D. Will and the system, and how you just seen him get better and better every year.
We were very close with D. Will, with the family. Our wives always, like hanging out with each other. Actually, at that time, we have like a lot of like players who was always like with each other, families, kids. We always had a party together. Like we're always trying to like celebrate Halloweens, Thanksgivings, Christmas. Like everything was like kind of together. With the D. Will, I remember the funny story. Like his first year, we had like a team appearance somewhere, and me and D. Will supposed to go to like little area to like give away tickets, play with the kids. So we have a limo. So we sitting in a limo, we're going somewhere, and D. Will was like, "Oh, AK, you're such a great player. Like you're like a number one option here, and blah blah blah, such stuff." Like like when the young guys playing with just joining the league and having veteran, but I'm not. I wasn't a veteran back then, but I was like 23, 24 years old, but I was a veteran. So he was like, "You're an all-star," and blah blah blah. And I said, I remember like right now, I said like, "D. Will, believe me, couple of years you're gonna be in my position, doing the same thing, going somewhere. You just just play your game, just do like what you do the best." And like in 2 years, literally, he's an all-star, and we're going somewhere. Like, dude, like here we are.
Yeah.
But he was an amazing player. First time probably after Allen Iverson, I've seen somebody so good with the handles, with that crossover. Oh my God, he was deadly crossover.
That right to left.
Other than crossover, he got a body.
Yeah.
He's a big dude with a big body doing the crossovers all over. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, 2 of them. He crossed you twice.
Like 4 of them. I see like he was crossing the dude like 4 times. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Until the guy just like losing his balance.
Yeah. So leaving Minnesota, you decide to go to Brooklyn and sign a deal with Brooklyn and be there in Brooklyn. When you was playing, they was in New Jersey and they decided to go to Brooklyn. It was a fairly new organization. They kind of like started over. But how was it to play with Brooklyn?
It was a very easy and tough decision at the same time to come to Brooklyn. Just because I was feeling that my career in NBA is going like kind of going down, and like you're feeling like it's way harder to recovery after injuries. It's you getting feeling that your body you can't run through anymore as much as you run back then. So I was start thinking that I need to take a shot for the championship and find some situation that probably when you still can do something, when you still can be productive, you can be a valuable part of the team. So I was thinking that like which team you can be part of, and again, based on my agent information back then, it was a very good option with the San Antonio. So Minnesota supposed to trade me for somebody. I don't remember who, maybe Boris Diaw or somebody else. There was, again, it's like a rumors you heard from your agents.
Right.
There was like a little interest, and I was like, yeah, sure. Like San Antonio was dynasty, and like who doesn't want to try Greg Popovich and play for him? Yeah. And he got a lot of international players in the team, which is another great point.
Yeah.
So I said like, yeah, sure, why not? But then it didn't happen because David Kahn was changed by Flip Saunders. So it was like a little different direction by the team. And at that time, Minnesota didn't want to do really anything to extend me or trade me. So at that time, I decided, you know what? I have to find something for myself. I'm not gonna pick up my option. I'm gonna try to find some right environment where I can get a chance to win the title, but at the same time be in a good, like in a good chemistry, good atmosphere in the team. And we got a project. Basically, the Russian owner bought Brooklyn Nets. I know D. Will is there. It was Brook Lopez. It was George Johnson in the team. They picked up KG, Paul Pierce, Jason Terry. And it was like basically no brainer for me, well, this is like a last crusade. Everybody getting together. We're old, but at the same time, like I wanted to try this. I wanted to try this experience, try the experience of New York as a city, because everybody was talking New York. You wanted to try the experience of New York. You wanted to experience the team when you have all veterans with a great experience, with a little percentage shot for the title. It didn't work, obviously, but it was a good try. I think during the season we beat Miami a few times, but in the playoff I think we lost like 4-2.
How was it for you? Like you said, you've been a teammate with D. Will and stuff like that. But how was it to be on the team with the legendary Kevin Garnett and how intense he is, and then Paul Pierce and that duo? How was it to be on the same team and be in the locker room with those guys?
It's amazing, like you every day you learn something. Every day you see how passionate, especially KG. He's like all over the place. He always vocal. He always like involved in things. We always been like first two guys who's coming to the practice doing like treatments, doing like gym, doing something in like 7:30 in the morning, and always like talking little things about basketball, about like cultural things. But he's amazing. I think he's the guy I never seen such intensity. He was always talking to himself, to the fans, to the referees, to the opponents. I don't know, like to the coaches. It's crazy. Like he always been in the mode. And when you have this kind of player in your team, it's so easy to play because he's drawing so much attention on himself. So you just like, okay, you can deal with KG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget about me.
During your day, I heard a lot of guys play this, but you was real big on the World of Warcraft, right? During your playing days.
He knows.
I know about you know D Miles don't know nothing about this AK-47. Malik. I'm shout out to Malik Rose. Malik Rose put me on that game. He had me
What
playing
talking
with
about?
David Robinson, Tim Duncan, all of them guys.
Tim
was playing.
Duncan played, yeah.
Tim
Cheney.
Duncan was, yeah, they was. Talk about it, AK. I played it, but you go ahead.
Yeah, you know, I think it's very cultural for the youngsters to play video games. You know, right now everybody playing like NBA 2K. They playing like FIFA. I don't know, NFL, Call of Duty. But back in our time, you know, I don't think it was a lot of like those kind of games online. So online we have like few options. It was, I think, like World of Warcraft. I think it was like Diablo, something
Diablo.
else. Like,
I
maybe
never
like 3,
played. I didn't
4
play the
different
Diablo,
options.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was like 21 years old, I picked it up. You know, like you're always traveling. You need to.
And it was a laptop game too. It was on a computer, so that kind of made it easier too.
Right now, you have like Netflix. You have like all kind of
a million things.
Yeah, back in the days, I had a little
DVD portable DVD player, the portable
with a 24. That was a show. 24.
The show 24.
Jack Bauer.
Oh
Jack Bauer.
Jack Bauer, the man.
That was an amazing show.
Yeah, it definitely was. But I just rewatched that like a couple of weeks ago, man. I'm on season 6 now. It just I was finding something. It's still intense and good. Yeah, Jack Bauer.
That was like a secret society though. AK the people that play World of Warcraft within the NBA. Like when I found out that like Tim Duncan and David Robinson, I was blown away by that. But when Malik Shuck, like, because like you said, it was in the days before all of the games was getting online, and that was something that we could get online and go do quests together, and you getting potions and conjuring and getting weapons and rideable. It was crazy, man. Shout out to World of Warcraft, man.
World of Warcraft, man. They made a movie. Did you see the movie, AK?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the movie. I haven't played though for a few years, but I still have my character sitting somewhere.
I'm Call of Duty, Madden, and everything else. Now I ain't played World of Warcraft in eons and eons.
Tell us about 2012, playing for your country, getting the opportunity to medal in basketball, bring home a bronze medal, and tell us about what you thought about this year's Olympics.
I want to start with generally experience playing with the national team. Because 2012, it was like a best year for us at the Olympics. And, you know, obviously we got the bronze medal. But the whole experience playing for the national team, it's amazing experience. And we as a nation, as a kid, you know, we grew up with the idea that the best possible basketball, not club basketball, but the basketball itself is the Olympic Games. You know, like when you're playing for your country against other countries, and in a basketball field, you're basically showing that you're the best basketball player in the world. So that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's like it's carved in my veins.
Yeah.
So anytime we played European competitions, World Cups or Olympics, you always wanted to be there. You have your guys you grew up with, you know, like you have everybody on your side. You playing not for the money, because obviously there is no money involved. You playing for yourself, for your friends, for your parents, for your fellow mates. It's amazing experience, and I always recommend players from different countries, if you have a chance, please experience it. Yeah. It's way different. You have to get the essence of it, and I'm so grateful that, you know, in the duration of my career as a basketball player, NBA basketball player, I had the chance And like I've been involved a lot with the national teams, with the national team competitions, and with the best achievements that we won in 2007 European medal. We won the Euro, and 2012 we got the bronze medal. But the biggest achievement for myself in 2008, I've been awarded by my country to be a flag bearer for the opening ceremony, which is amazing experience. I think LeBron was flag bearer.
LeBron was this year.
So I think it's the highest possible honor you can get from your country, from your sport, when you represent in not basketball, but you represent in your country in a sport. And this is the biggest memory of mine. And as I said, Mark, into my biography, it's always going to be with me. Same as touching Michael Jordan.
Straight up.
How does it feel for you? Like, you had to be one of the guys that, like, especially for this, the current generation of guys that's coming up, they had to have seen you when they were young. Like, you know what I'm saying? To be a guy from Russia, to make it to the NBA, to go, across the world, to go to the NBA and become a superstar and really make a name for yourself. So now when you see the younger guys coming through, do you take a pride in knowing that you were one of those pillars that gave them that ability to dream? And like, 'cause you know how it is, until they see somebody from their own country go do what you were doing, and then they get the belief that they could do it. So do you take that pride with you, like now being the president of the Russian Basketball Federation, so they really get to see you up close and personal?
I am very proud. I am very proud to be that person, to kind of be a pioneer, and not pioneer as a just who joined the NBA and play a couple of games and but showing that any kid growing up and playing basketball can be an all-star, can play for many years in NBA, can be an integral part of the franchise, and that's possible because, as I said, like when I grew up, we did have little examples of the Russian players who joined the league, played 5-6 games, then get out, that played preseason camp, being picked up for a short period of time. But you don't really feel that it's possible. And I wanted to get a feeling that, kids who grew up watching me, they understand nothing is impossible. You can be there. You don't have to be strong, very athletic to be there. I was skinny kid, running through. You can concentrate on something and be a valuable part of any NBA franchise. You just have to find that right fit. You have to find the right coach, right teammate, or maybe right position to fit in. Maybe right organization, who believed in you, who start believing in you. Because so many examples, when he's nothing special really about this player, but then he get a right fit, bumps, he's playing major minutes, and he's becoming important part of the team.
Yeah. You played for 3 teams during your NBA career. You had a bunch of teammates every year. If you had to pick 4 teammates that you had in your NBA career to make an ultimate 5 with you, who would be the other 4 teammates?
I would pick Kobe for sure. I've been his teammate once on the All-Star game.
Yeah, okay.
Kobe.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll take D. Will because majority of my career went with him. Even though John Stockton and Mark Jackson would be right there.
I forget you had Mark Jackson.
I love to play with Mark Jackson. Oh my
Mark
God,
finds
Mark
you
Jackson
everywhere.
he was looking at me particularly. Particularly at me. Anytime I was open, is there. Because John was looking for Karl. He was amazing, but he was looking for Karl. Mark Jackson was looking for me. But probably D. Will, just because we played a little bit longer and he was in his prime time back there. I would take Carlos Boozer because he was with me as well. And I will pick Memo because we got
Memo
those 4 guys right there.
Yeah.
Memo, me, Boozer and Deron. We had a great relationship outside the court. We always been together. So from the
all right, so let me ask you this: if you can switch Kobe out, who else will it be out of your teammates you'll put in that 2 spot? Maybe Joe Johnson. Maybe
Joe was good, but again, like I played with Joe only like season, and it was not enough time to really. But he was amazing. Like him, Paul Pierce. Who else was? Kyle Korver. I would put Kyle Korver there. Like he was a menace. Like the guy couldn't miss the shot. Like oh my god, on a practice it was like impossible to play against him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you, D. Will, Kyle Korver, Boozer, and Mehmet.
Yeah, that was our team.
That was our team, straight up.
We were unlucky because San Antonio has a dynasty.
Yeah, man. Another one for you. You got to start one. You got to bench one. You got to cut. I mean, you got to trade one.
Oh my
God. start, bench, trade. Michael, Kobe, LeBron. Who do you start? God. Who you do bench? Who you trade?
I will go with my idea. Michael Jordan will start.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron will be bench and Kobe will cut. Even though I love Kobe and he's the number one in my era. Just because, as I said, Kobe is the similar player as MJ. So I have to take Jesus. I have basketball Jesus. I have to take him.
Black Jesus. That's right.
50 and you know what? I found out the formula. You know, like there's a lot of like talking about the criteria. Who's the best player? Who's the best 5 players? Best 10 players? I found out the criteria for the like a combination of the best players in NBA history. And I wanted to share it with you and correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
If you disagree with me.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
So I have like 10 players, which is starting 5, and like guys who's going to be 5 guys who's going to be second unit, and 2 guys who's going to be on the bench or like wild card. They right there. So first 10 players, they all have 3 or more titles. That's the one criteria. So point guard position would be Magic Johnson, 50% and 50% and a half, and 49.5 Steph Curry. And again, like type of the game you need a killer. Steph is there. You need more organizer. Magic is there.
Okay.
So they are very close. Then number 2 position, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Same way. Michael is a starter. Kobe is right there.
Okay.
You go into 3 position. LeBron is starting. Larry Bird is right there, right underneath.
Okay.
Number 4, Tim Duncan and Bill Russell. You can put them how you want it.
Okay.
They both teams players. They won so much. They're very unselfish. You can rotate them, whatever you like. Number 5, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq. And 2 guys on the bench, Wilt and Hakeem, just because they don't have enough titles. But so those 12 are my best.
Let's give them your best ever
that I see. If you see somebody, if you disagree, please let me know.
I would change Larry Bird for Kevin Durant.
2 titles. But he's right there. I'm telling
you. The titles. Okay, I forgot about the titles. That's why
he's right there. Believe me, he's right there. But he's not finished his career. We don't know. Maybe he will pass it.
Yeah. That's the one spot for me where I would change, but I can't really argue with nothing else. Tell me this, like right now, the NBA probably more than ever is more like, more blended as far as international players. Like how do you, when you look at the landscape, what is your thoughts on the international scope of the league today? How far it's coming and how fast it's steadily coming and coming quicker now? Like you seeing a lot of guys from overseas, becoming stars, getting to the league. Like the last 4 MVPs have been international players, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, talk about the state of international hoopers in the league so far right now. And
I,
you can be prideful about that. You have something to do with that. One of the guys, there was an international guy that brought the flavor and was a star in the league. So you can
pioneers,
be, yeah,
pioneers.
yeah, pioneer, baby.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. It's inevitable that league will grow international wise, just because we got so much exposure to the world through the social media, through the TV broadcasting around the world. More kids around the world see examples that it's possible, that like you can be a part of it. So many promotions that NBA is doing around the world, like go and visit in different countries. I love that right now NBA taking seriously international events, because not taking it seriously is becoming a problem, because you've seen like a lot of example, like when it's not serious, international teams already start beating it, winning World Cups, Olympics in 2004. So it's a lot of exposure, and a lot of international teams start getting leaders who's playing in NBA, integral parts of franchises. Dallas has a Luka, Bucks has Giannis, Jokic in Denver, Shea in Oklahoma, Embiid. Well, Embiid, okay, he's a U.S. national team, but what
yeah,
I wanted to say, more and more players from all over the world. Victor Wembanyama is gonna be a beast for the next 10 years.
definitely.
You have to record me. He would be the guy who will beat my 5x5 soon enough.
That's
So he
you and
gonna join that
Hakeem.
list.
Talk about that list. You and Hakeem with the 5x5s. Y'all the only players that's done that multiple times, man. For the
Victor's
people that
gonna be
don't
the
know what
next
that
one.
is, that's like at least 5 statistical points across 5 categories, like 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, 5 blocks. Like that's insane.
Yeah, that's all around.
I think right now it would be nice, because all of the draft leagues, fantasy leagues,
Yeah.
all of the like betting getting involved, so that the numbers are important. NBA 2K, it's important into the game. Like when you're playing, you need to get a steals, blocks, and like leading the way, running through again.
running through, running through.
That's something you probably will never forget for as long as you live, AK. Running, fucking running through. You'll
it's in my
never.
head.
I won't forget it, and I just had to guard it every now and again.
I hated chasing you running through, and you ran through every single time, whether the ball was in front of you or behind you. You ran through.
Yeah. So back in the days, there wasn't that much attention to it. So you just like you just playing, and as again, like as we talked, my type of the game was like playing defense, offense, everywhere, unselfish, jumping for the ball. So I think that way you kind of get those stats. Kind of, you don't think about it much. And I bet you, like, if we're gonna take a look and like research the stats, I don't know, maybe somebody watching this podcast will, like take this work into their hands and research it. I bet you that I have probably 15 games when I was like 1 block away, 2 steals away, or like 2 assists away from these kind of numbers. It's like LeBron. I think he got like hundreds of games when he like 1 assist away from triple double, one like rebound away from triple double, because the way he played, he always like
everywhere.
around the ball, around those categories.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Like when you first got in the league in 2000, the league was played a certain way. It was more inside out, where you go through the big man and then you shoot. But now seeing the game has kind of changed. It's changed into they say a Euro style type game. You know what I'm saying? You see the game that's evolved a little bit, where you shoot more jumpers. Guys like us that played the 3 when we came in, we can play center and power forward in this new league. Now, just tell us about how you see the game evolve to more of a Euro style, or I don't want to say Euro style, but a worldly style than it was when you first got in.
Y'all two would be cheaters in this league. Y'all be a 5-man in this league. You and Black. Y'all be cheating in this NBA, doing everything. But go ahead.
Yeah, I disagree. It's international style, but I definitely agree that game changed. When I came in, it was a game of the big man. You have it was a generation of Patrick Ewing, Hakeem, Shaq, David Robinson, Yao. It was a force. So the whole game was built to bring the ball down to the post, let the big man create situations, and then pass off or doing something with the ball. Yeah. Then, in 2000, it's become a league of 2-3. So forwards.
The wingman.
You got T-Mac, Mashburn, Allen Houston, Ray Allen. So a lot of great players who can play with the ball. Vince Carter. So I think Michael Jordan played the integral part and kind of show everybody, that's the way you're supposed to guys play. And it's become a forwards game. Kevin Durant, LeBron, they came in 2004 and 2000. Kevin Durant came, I think, before that, 3, right?
6 or 7.
Correct me. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's become a league of the forwards. And it was so hard for me to play because every night I would have somebody on my position who's playing incredibly well. So you're oh my God.
Getting
today
all
I
the
have
shots.
Peja is shooting the hell out of this 3-point shot. Then next game I have Dirk. Today I have Ray Allen, Kobe, T-Mac. You're oh my God, I have to run thousands of screens and chase these guys. But then I think Steph Curry broke the game. He just broke the game because when he became the guy, it's it's become a video game. It was crossing the half court and shooting the shot. And in a European game, you would be benched right away. You're no, you don't do this, kid. You have to you have to use your clock.
Yeah.
But then he start making those shots, and everybody oh my God, this is the way. It's it's like in Star Wars or Mandalorian. This is the way.
Yes.
It's this is the way, and everybody start doing it. And right now, it's crazy than that. Even the big guys start doing it.
Man.
So right now, the game become tall guys coming to the 3-point shot and shooting that 3-point shot. Everybody's shooting it. Run and gun. Mike D'Antoni would be happy right now.
Definitely would.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. He is part of this. He is part of this. Our 05 team.
You're right. He's an
influencer. Our 05 Phoenix Suns team is part of why we seeing what's happening.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me this before we get you up out of here, man. I always like to ask this question. I want to hear this is a European Russian edition right here. I want to know when you I heard you talk about earlier. When you was with CSK, you ain't want to get out the contract because they was paying for mom, Dukes, and pops them apartment and stuff. I don't want to hear about you buying mom and pops them a crib. I want to know something. The AK-47, when you got the bag, when you got a nice little bag and you got, moms them taken care of, I got a crib. This is what you did for yourself. That you probably look back now at the older age, that was kind of crazy. I should have did that, but something that you felt that was, you treated yourself. You had fun with this. I want to know what that, I want to know the big purchase. Was it the Porsche? Was it something else fly? What did you do that you made a big splashy purchase that you might look back at now and say that was kind of crazy, but at the time it was fun?
That's a good question. I was married back then. You've been cooled down. Your wife would say hey, just chill out a little bit.
Right.
But I'd say the craziest spending that I have, couple of summers we've been renting a boat during the summertime, and it was very expensive. Boat when you cruising for a week, like a yacht. You're cruising for a week. You're taking your friends. And you're having fun, but I wouldn't say it was a bad spending. It is a bad spending in a sense of it's a waste of money, but experience from that and our memories, we still remember those memories from back in the days. Actually, Al Harrington was on one of the trip with us.
Cheddar cheese,
For
look.
real?
Yeah, you
Cheddar
asked me
that's
when,
what's
cheese.
up.
That's our boy there. That's my boy there. That don't surprise me one bit though that Al made a trip. He'll do it.
Yeah, that's what's up. Andrei, AK, man, we really appreciate you, man. We loved playing against you and love your journey and the way you carried yourself during the league, man. We appreciate you coming on the show, rocking with us. And thank you all the way from Russia.
Yeah, man, it was mandatory for us to do this, man. You know, you one of the ones in the game, and plus you part of our era, but like, we glad we got a chance to have you on here to give you your flowers, to let you know how tough you was, how dope you was, and to remind anybody that had forgot. So we appreciate you,
Thank
man.
you, guys. From Russia with love.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. AK-47, everybody.